those that are supposed to be having the information don't have it. Those with the information don't have the power. What is the difference between leadership and politics? And someone told me that, Edwin, you know what? Life is politics. What would you say about that? That life is politics.
Politics is everything. That's the thing.
Not just life, is everything. Why are politics not done in boardrooms? And by boardrooms, I mean community halls. Because I felt those conversations are very effective. I mean, get a group of 20 women in a room and listen to their... I think that conversation is always not effective. It will be more effective if you can get 30 youths in a room and you do it very frequently. You have very candid conversation than going to a rally and saying, yes.
You know, rallies possess kinetic energy. It is just but some excitement. People are just excited. You get the point? Attend a rally and then you ask somebody, what is he saying? They won't tell you whatever this guy is saying because they're not even listening. But you see, they're excited. It is that excitement. Because you people are here, it is a crowd.
But Brian, that's when you elect someone and then you don't know even why you elected this person.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Today is not the usual place. My name is Edwin and I'm stepping in for our host June, who was not able to join us today. This is the Urban Online Show and we want to look at governance. This is a conversation that we started early this year, trying to look at what is the role of young people in the current state of the country in terms of leadership and governance. What is our role as informal settlements, or how does political spheres within these current times affect us in terms of economy, employment, our usual day-to-day lives. And today I have a team of very interesting young people. They will introduce themselves. I know we have been with one of them in previous episodes. If you have not watched that, please do us a favor and check it out. So where do we start? Brian, you're the familiar face. Do we start from you and then you can introduce your team?
Thank you. I am Brian Odhiambo. Brian Odhiambo is a community developer. I am a key account manager. And I also am a political analyst. So today here are my friends. I think I'll start from the right side, introduce himself, then we skip to the left side, and then how we can delve into the conversation.
Good.
Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Godwin Oyindo. I'm a social entrepreneur with an interest in our social, mostly in slums, Kibera, Madare, Mukuru, and some rural areas, and with a key interest in sustainable projects. Yes. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Karibu.
Okay, it's my pleasure to be here. My name is Abu Kilisha, a political strategist who doubles up as a political analyst. Thank you.
Yeah, in last conversation, we were looking at the difference between those two, which is, I would also want to hear your perspective of what is the difference between a political analyst and a political strategist. But anyway, behind the scene, we also have a few key leaders in the community that will be joining us. Maybe you could just say hi with your name and then tutaendelea from there. So we are in the process of organizing a community town hall meeting in Madare, and the youth leaders will be very key in helping us organize that. But before we go to the community, we said, can we have an internal talk, yeah, tupige gumzo tujue what is the current state affairs of governance generally. Starting from my brother, you said political analyst, political strategist. Tell me about what's the difference about.
You see, when we are talking about political analyst and political strategy, a strategist is somebody who is there to lay the grounds for either politician for either business, for either organization to win. So you need to come up with the proper models that will help the organization to win. For example, you want to evaluate candidate A and candidate B are competing. Which strategy do you lay for candidate A, which is your candidate, to win against candidate B? One of them, you must draw a good strategy for marketing for your candidate A to win against B. That is the strategy. Then a political analyst, it is somebody who will just sit. You want to analyze the student, not student per se, you want to analyze candidate A and candidate B with the proper intents to know between candidate A and B which one is the best to fit, so that you can go out and tell wananchi this is the right person to be elected. That is the analyst. You must analyze somebody perfectly.
Yeah.
Analysis means you can analyze it with the behavior. You can analyze with financial perspective. You can analyze with the person being, for example, when we are talking about the slum setup, is this candidate know more about the slums? Does he understand the problems slum dwellers are facing? So upon analyzing those, you will understand if he or she is the right candidate to be elected. So that is the line between political analyst, analyzing a candidate and strategy. Yes.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking this is very important, because many a times when you say young people, you need to come up, pick these positions and lead, most of them even don't know where to start from. And I think you have a role to even identify the talent within young people in. So my next, maybe just a follow-up is, you personally, have you taken an interest on even maybe identifying a few young people within the community and to tell them that, hey, I feel you can lead us?
Yes, one of them is Brani.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
You see,
nice.
The resources.
Yes.
You see, the problem is we have youths with the potential to lead.
Yes.
But the problem is, in our setup, in our political setup in Kenya today, you can get a good youth to lead, but the financial status will make these youth not to rule.
Yes.
Another problem with our youth is, if today tumetoa mtu blog, this guy will not even tend to think of other people. You get it? So the problem we have in Kenya is that a politician wameweka like politics is between life and death. And you must have resources for you to be elected. Huh? You get it? You see, sometimes I normally say, if I bribe you today to elect me in an office, what service do you expect from me? Number one, if I get to the office today, I will return the money that I used. But if you elect me freely, it will be you will force me to do what is right for the community. So identifying youths, we can identify. But making them to be leaders is a bit difficult, because the same youths who have the energy, they are the same youths who will say, Brian, you are good, but you don't have money. You get it? So we need to do civic education to our youths, and they need to change their mindset that for a politician to get an office, they must get something.
So if I'm getting you right, this is something you've been doing, and many maybe strategists have been doing, but money issue then becomes a problem here. So you might even see a leader, but you can't help them because the mentality of the community around people who should vie for these positions. And I know one of our guests today is also eyeing for these positions. Here is a strategist. But Brian, going to you.
Yes.
How do you think the process has been? And do you validate my point that sometimes young people will want to lead, but they don't know even where to start from?
Thank you. I think that's true. Because politics has a lot that meets the optics you literally have to understand what happens behind the scenes, because there's a lot that happens. So for a youth is, I'm interested into leadership, but now narrowing down to the situation in Kenya is, whether I like it or not, I must venture into politics. You see, these are two different things, just like we alluded last time. There's a politician and then there's a leader. But unfortunately in Kenya, you are a leader, you want to venture into leadership, a leadership position, then you must be involved in the political activities of the country. Now that is where the technical know-how and the know-what comes in, whereby I possess the leadership skills, but I don't understand how politics is being played in Kenya. You get the point? That is now where the political strategies do come in. And plus, I need to have a godfather. That is the truth. Babu Owino tells us that he's a student of Baba Raila Amolo Odinga's school of thought. Same to Edwin Sifuna. So they looked up to Raila Amolo Odinga. Right. William Ruto looked at Moi. Uhuru Kenyatta, the father, was the founding, father of the nation. So as youths, yes, it is true that some of us possess the skills. What we lack is, how do we venture now into politics? How do we get to the ground? So if you lack a position of, and you see, plus, again, not in a bad way, we have the leadership skills, but some of us are not interested into getting the knowledge on how to move forward. Some of us are not interested in reading books. Have a look at what Machiavelli did. Have a look at what Aristotle says. Look at the people, the presidents like Kenneth Kaunda, Nelson Mandela. Those are living experiences, right? But you see, when you don't want to feed your mind with information, then that is where you fall short. So you don't know where to go specifically, because there are two things. There's somebody who has the technicalities. There's this youth who has the leadership skills, but they fall short on resources. They have the human resource, but they lack the financial resource. But then again, there's another politician who has the financial resource, but lacks the human resource. So again,
unfortunately, that's how nature balances stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like what you're talking about is like the norm.
Sure.
Those that are supposed to be having the information don't have it.
Thank you.
Those with the information don't have the power. I like where this is going, but I want to get to you and ask, what is the difference between leadership and politics? Is there a difference? Because from Brian's talk, I can tell that there is a big difference. Do you agree, or what are they? And if yes, what are they?
Okay. There's a very thin line.
A very thin line.
There's a very thin line, yes. For us to get leadership from you, it can be also through politics. And we can also get leadership from you without politics. But there's really a very thin line, and sometimes to tell the difference might be very difficult. But politics is mostly about sometimes just swaying people towards and influencing their behavior, their thoughts, their reasoning towards one direction. And that's what happens a lot with our politicians. For leadership, it takes more than just swaying people. For leadership is now more about, are we doing the right thing? Is this how it's supposed to be done? Or
the issue of morality comes in.
Yeah, with the morality, everything. But for politics, it's just about winning. Yeah, as long as we win, as long as we get what we want, without being objective and looking into the longer future.
Makes a lot of sense. I had a friend once say that in Kenya, we are not electing leaders, we are electing people who are popular. So if you can be popular, then we stroke or equate you to a leader, which is always not the case. You may be popular, very popular. You might be a comedian. And I'm not you guys, I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm saying you can be a comedian. You're very popular, but are you a leader? Those are two different things. The issue of leadership and politics, for me, has always been a very difficult kind of conversation. I was a leader while in high school. But then when you get to university, you realize
Different.
you get my point. It's different. It's not just about you being that one person
the right things.
who can direct people to the right thing, who can convince a class to do something good. But the politics start getting in. So in university, you can't really survive with the high school leadership mentality. So for me, by then I said, no, you know what? I would want to be a leader. I wouldn't want to be a politician. And it's so unfortunate that the deteriorating nature of our politics has made it so bad that people would say, I wouldn't want to be a politician. I would want to be a leader, but I don't want to be a politician, because the word politician, you could equate it to corruption, to violence, so there is all these things. And through this time, I'm young and I'm having all these thoughts in my mind. Where is my leadership going to next? Because now I'm struggling to choose between whether to become a leader and a politician. And someone told me that, Edwin, you know what? Life is politics. What would you say about that? That life is politics?
Politics is everything. That's the thing.
Not just life, it's everything.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Politics is everything. Even if you go to churches today, politics is
It's
there.
politics.
Even here, we are here because of politics. That's the thing. So politics is life. It depends with people who play politics, behave. They are good politicians. They are bad politicians. Politics can make somebody to be a leader. And politics can also make somebody to be a bad person. That's the reason I was saying. Today, you can decide, we have seen some leadership skill in either Brian. But when we met Brian Block, Brian turned now to be a politician. Don't you see now that one is a negative side of the politics? And the problem with the majority of our youth, they don't have the patience, the rule of patience. You want to be elected today, and after 3 to 4 months, you want to be riding on a V8. You want to be like staying in Kileleshwa. So I normally say, trust the process, and that process itself will bring things. So when I'm elected today as a youth, for example, and I was just staying in Madari, in a shanty house, then in the next 1 year, I want to be in Kileleshwa. How am I going to make it? It will make me to involve myself in corruption. For example, if I elected member of parliament in the house, and I want to tell you, there was an house, was it 10th parliament? People were just making deals. I will tell the government, you want your business to pass in the house, give us some money. So I will not even care
whether it's good for the people.
Yes, whether it is a good bill, I don't care. A good example was the finance bill, 2024. Members of parliament voted for it. In fact, some of them were even saying, we are not going to reverse it. Appoint president now.
Not even some. I remember close to
80%.
I was like, what's wrong with this?
80% were like, we are not going to reverse it.
Yes.
Until pressure came out.
Yes.
Then president was like, now we are going to relook into it. Then when president was calling off this finance bill, they were just beside the president clapping. President, you have done a good deal. Remember, in Kenya, we have 3 arms of government: legislation, judiciary, and the executive. The executive will only implement what has come out of the parliament. If the parliament has failed us, what do we do?
And they are the people's representatives.
They are the people who represent the people. And remember, they also exercise democracy in their rule of power. Because democracy is a rule of the people, for the people, and by the people. So if these people are in parliament, they are just making deals. They don't care about the finance, the bills which are coming to the floor. So they are the failure of our nation. By the way, to me, I say that we need to restructure our politics for us to achieve whatever we want. Because right now there is a conversation that we are heading to Singapore. So for us to achieve Singapore, that is the first world country, we need to restructure our politics. We need not to left everything in the hands of politicians. Because these politicians, when it goes to church, they want to control the church. When it comes to youth, they want to control the youth.
I know, and we will be getting there into trying to craft some solutions.
Leadership is quite different from politics. But politics make leaders, but leaders cannot be politicians. Why am I saying this? For example, let me just talk about this community mobilizer, or we can say Ken Odede. The founder, the CEO, and founder of the Shofco. That guy is a leader. He's not a politician. Even if you tell him today that, boss, we wanted to go do politics, he will tell you no. He's a leader. See whatever he's doing in the society. He's helping people. But there are some politicians who have stayed there. They don't even care. They are using the rule, I think it is Machiavellian rule, make them poor so that you can control them. Politician will make you poor so that you can keep on begging him. So that in the next election, you will be worshipping him. Without worshipping him, you will not get your hand out.
Makes a lot of sense. Brian, what is your take on all this? Looking at it from not just when they messed us with the finance bill, but even the current house, and the relationship between the National Assembly, the county assemblies, especially the county assemblies. There people don't talk about it much, but what is the role of the county assembly? How are the houses in Kenya?
Thank you. Number one, there's the game theory, politics, that tells us that talk is cheap. Have you ever asked yourself why? When a politician is coming, there's money being dished out for mobilization because you want something larger than life. Our politicians think they are larger than life. They have this Messiah syndrome that when so and so is coming, then expect policemen in that area on that very day. That when that guy is coming from town, then there's a convoy, and then there are youths over here who are shouting and heckling and doing all this. It is because they don't believe in talk. Talk simply means they don't want to sit somewhere and talk to people just for the sake of talking. They want to do something that they will be remembered for. That, you know what, that is the MP of Mathare that is here.
I like what you're saying, because I've always thought that, why are politics not done in boardrooms? And by boardrooms, I mean community halls. Because I feel those conversations are very effective. Get a group of 20 women in a room and listen to than the crowd, and you're like, yes, I think that conversation is always not effective. And now when you're talking about it, I'm like, by the way, it will be more effective if you can get 30 youths in a room and you do it very frequently. You have very candid conversation than going to a rally and saying, yes, tutafanya, because it's never effective.
Rallies possess a kinetic energy.
I like how you're calling it, kinetic energy.
Right. And the kinetic energy, what happens is, it is just but some excitement. People are just excited. You get the point. Attend a rally And then you ask somebody, what is he saying? They won't tell you whatever this guy is saying because they're not even listening. But you see, they're excited. It is that excitement. Because you people are here. It is a crowd.
But Brian, that's when you elect someone and then you don't know even why you elected this person.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. That is what politicians do. And that is why he has said that they are politicians and then they are leaders. But a politician can never be a leader. But a leader can be a politician, according to me. That is my perspective of how I'm viewing this. Because a politician is into his politics is about power. It is about amassing wealth and power. That is why in Kenya we have the extractive political system, like I usually tell people, whereby as a politician I'll get into a seat, then I'll ensure that I amass wealth to my contentment, right? That will assist me to get back to the ground. Tell me why somebody is a women rep. I won't mention name, but they are again interested into becoming an MP somewhere after serving as a women rep. You get the point? Because they went there, they amassed wealth, they have what it takes again to go back to the ground, and because the Kenyan electorate is emotional, they will look at who can pull a crowd more than the other. Yakuwa nyimbo inaimba nani? Then you don't think about what this guy or this woman wants to do to us as a leader. So you go with my neighbor is talking of Brayo, so and so is Brayo. I don't care what Brayo stands for. I'm going to elect
because
Brayo.
everyone is singing Brian.
Everybody's singing Brian, right? But again, we arrive at a point whereby we have a leader who's doing very noble projects in the society. But you see, they don't have that political aspect in them. So when they are walking, he'll walk all alone. Then you'll be like, this guy is not even powerful enough. So why would we give him a position? And then when a leader, somebody like, allow me to just mention his name, because he is my role model. PLO Lumumba. PLO Lumumba
will not get a seat in this country because of the mentality people have.
He can never be elected. But that guy is a leader.
Why not Miguna?
He has solutions. You get the point?
I've been watching his talks lately, and he's analyzing the global leadership scenario that we, I mean, as how do I say it? Currently, we need to be very worried about what is happening, and he is always making sense of how global leadership is.
He's about.
But I don't know why people don't consider such.
Now that is the typical Kenyan electorate. Finally, on something something we talked about, and I have to agree with my senior over here, because what's happening to our houses is because we have tumbocrats as our leaders.
Tumbocrats.
Yes, as our leaders. Whereby somebody has to be tipped off to pass a certain bill. Right. That you know very well that this bill is indeed punitive. But because the president is your friend, that because the president comes from your own ethnic community, then you have to pass that bill. You don't consider what that bill will do to the common mwananchi. And that is why I will always commend the Gen Zs for what they did. Because some of them took time to read through the finance bill. It is very unfortunate that we had leaders who literally said that we are not going to add a comma or a full stop to this finance bill. We are going to pass it the way it is. Right. So that is what is happening to our houses. We don't look at some of the people that are elected into these houses. What parameters do we use as a
to elect them?
Yes.
You wonder.
Some of them have fake degrees. How do you work on a system whereby you know some of these fiscal policies and the policies that touch to the common mwananchi, but this person is not even educated enough.
Some of them didn't read the finance bill.
Thank you. Some of them never read the finance bill. Some of them are not educated. They are not booked enough. Those are the kind of people that we have
Anyway, you've just said something that makes me feel like we need to talk to Odede. You said that leaders can become politicians and politicians cannot become. Maybe Odede should now, it's time for him to become.
And he thinks otherwise.
Anyway, we will. Now, I'll ask you this question.
Yes.
We have talked of Tumbo cats.
Yes.
We have talked of people who wants to ride V8s. We have talked of people who wants to leave the slum settlements and go to Kileleshwa and say that we lived there. Yeah. We don't have people who wants to make the environments better so that they can live there with the next generation. Is it wrong to be ambitious? I would say that's being ambitious. If you allow me, I would say that's being ambitious. You just want the best for yourself. Is it wrong to be ambitious?
Okay. And before I come to that,
yes,
because we started the conversation by asking about the young population.
Yes.
I would like to say Kenya has ambition of becoming a first world, and for Kenya to achieve a first world, the young population are the majority. Yes, they are the majority in terms of percentage. The young people must be part of this journey. They must be brought to the table. They must sit there and be part of it, and not just be what is being discussed there. They need to be involved fully. Because they are our leaders of today and they are leaders of tomorrow, and they can be as ambitious as they want. One thing that amazes me with Kenyans is that whatever they say with the left side of the mouth is not what they really, the right side of the mouth wants. On one side, Kenyans want leaders.
Yeah.
But when they get to the ballot, they elect politicians. They elect the same people with the funny characters that they don't want. They elect the populists.
Then after electing
so I
them,
really
we
don't
sit
understand.
behind and wonder
After
who
election
elected
is when they
this
sit with their hand and start complaining about it. I think also Kenyans, they let themselves down. The same Kenyans want young people to be part of this thing.
But they elect.
And the same Kenyans will say, we don't want you if you're not married yet. Yeah? So how is marrying and how are they? We do not want you because you are still very young. There are so many years ahead of you. You can become whatever. Today, let us deal with this person first. So Kenyans really must decide what they want. They must decide, because we cannot, I know we are used to complaining, but there's something that, is it Bran who said it before, or someone said it? In one of the forums that I attended, that if you feel like your leader is corrupt, they are as corrupt as the people who elected them. Or if your leader is cannot comprehend things, is a fool. They are true representation of the people who elected them. Yeah, because that's what majority elected.
Because you had a chance to
elect the sober minds, the good ones, the young people, but you settled on the other ones. So you cannot be the same person who complains about it. You cannot have your cake and eat it at the same time. So young people are very right to be ambitious, and we should change our attitude towards things, even for us to achieve the first world dream. We should change our mind that leadership can be offered by young people, can be offered by any ambitious person, and we should allow people to pursue their dreams. And we should not be a stumbling block to people's dreams and many things. Today, If a 24-year-old came to you and said they want to be MP for Madare, many people will start laughing at him.
Yeah, I believe many will not.
Yeah? They'll not even pay attention
to what he's saying.
To what he's saying. They'll not even pay attention. And you're asking about leaders calling for town hall meetings instead of going to the fields and meet people. It's because they don't want accountability. You know, in an organized meeting, there's a lot of accountability, and there are people
we were with
notes.
you, and this is what you said.
This is what you said last time. So, at the rallies, Tibim, Tialala, ni fire, say fire. Ni fire.
Nothing interesting.
Yeah, so there's nothing to hold the leader accountable to, because the leader will be like, Wamama Tibim.
Which is an interesting point, because the other time we were asking ourselves, have you been keen and looked at our rallies? It is always never about what I'm going to do. It's about ule umbwa, ule two term, ule one term, it's always about someone talking about the other person. And I'm like, don't tell me about the umbwa, don't tell me about the muchawi, don't tell me about the drug addict. Tell me about you and me. Like, how are we going to benefit? I feel it's fair for you to give that drug addict also a chance to come and tell us what we will do together as drug addicts, as you have said.
Yeah, I think we need to change our...
Yes. So if you're
our attitude and the way we do things generally, for us to have a difference. Not only leaders, but also wananchi. Even us, the people who have not yet been elected. Before you ask what you'd like to see in the leader, are you a representation of that thing that you're talking about? Or do you wait until you'll be elected to become, because the topic of today was also about on governance, on integrity. So we really need to...
And these things, because I'm seeing the problem being even bigger than what we had thought about. If you're talking about integrity, if you're talking about your leader being a representation of those who elected them, which is basically the society, if you're talking about people who get into power and they want to amass wealth, then somehow I'm thinking this is not even a political. Is it a societal problem? Because integrity should not be expected of our leaders. Integrity should be expected of everyone from the society. And it's unfortunate that when people are elected, that is when we see lack of integrity. And for those that have done...
And I'm sorry to interrupt you. Yes. You see, integrity is not about stealing money or...
It's everything.
It's about small things. Like
lying.
If you are told, usikojoe hapa. How many people will observe that?
Yes.
If you are told at the traffic lights,
stop.
Red. How many people observe that? If you go to first world countries, you think in most cases you'll not find even traffic police.
Many countries
you'll not even find them.
They have them to respond to maybe if there is a problem. Not just standing there
to control traffic. So integrity is the small things, the do's and the don'ts. It's not big thing that is for accountant of a company not to steal money. Integrity is, are you able to follow the rule of law?
Exactly. So is it a societal problem?
Number one, earlier you asked about youth being overambitious. You see, we are in Madari. Madarians should ask what can they offer Kenya, not what Kenya can offer them. When you analyze that, you will come to know that you need to be a change where you are. For example, people believe that for you to stay well, you must stay either in Kileleshwa or Karen. We can start by changing Mathare slums. And we make Mathare to be a good place where any other person can aspire to stay there. And the dream that is being talked about today is the future of our country. That is the future of Kenya. We are talking about becoming a first world country. Yes, that is of ambition, being of ambitious. But is it achievable? It is achievable only if we change our mindset as youths of today. Because this is a plan, a strategy that has been laid to lead Kenya into the future. So if youth cannot own up today and say, today I become a member of parliament, even if I'm staying in Mathare, for example, today, and I become member of parliament, you see, even if I was staying with people here in slums, the next day I will not sleep here. Nitatafuta nyumba Karen, because now my class does not allow people to stay here. But a good person, if you have been elected a leader, why don't you stay with your people where you are, so that you change the situation, you change the thinking of that place? Number one, if I become a member of parliament today or an area MCA, why should I shift from the ghetto? Why now I fear that my security is not safe?
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. Why? So we need to change the mindset. If you want to, for example, if you want to achieve the first world country, that's the reason as to why I love this conversation that slum dwellers, we need to ask the government that, do we need affordable housing or do we need slum upgrading? Because if you have the slum upgrading or affordable housing, the houses zitaanza kupanda kama za Kileleshwa. The area will change. So if I elected a member of parliament, I will stay with my people. And the problem we have in Kenya, we need to restructure the politics. Like when you read about the Lee, the guy came in and restructured the government policies. We need to do something for this politician. Look here, a member of parliament, somebody you know very well that never went to school perfectly. The president either has nominated a CS or a cabinet, a professor who has gone to a class perfectly. This is the person who wants to audit whether this guy went to school and the guy didn't go to school. Is it possible that a member of parliament audit? For example, there was a day Professor Magwa the late, may God rest his soul in peace. He was in parliament and people were like, Professor, have you done this? He told them, no, go read my CV first before you ask me that question. Because these are the only people, you see, where we get it wrong as a country. The moment we will transform the politics.
I'm slowly getting your point.
Yes.
That it's very ridiculous, by the way.
It is. Remember, today, if I'm going to look for a job, it is written, come with your degree, you must be computer literate, you must have an experience in this. But we are talking with the politician who nothing is being asked of them. And for example, I'm going to be nominated to be either the CEO of, for example, Camry, for example, KPLC. I must pass through them. They want to peruse a degree which
they have no idea.
They don't have no idea about it. This guy, either he went to Uganda, bought a certificate. They normally say a certificate is just a piece of paper. So he went there and bought it. Now he want to ask me, a person who go to school perfectly, that tell us, how are you going to transform KPLC? And he doesn't even understand the policies running this thing.
So what I'm looking at it from the other angle, that maybe this professor might be even lying, but they will never know.
Exactly. Let me give you even asked earlier about these, our assembly, county assemblies. For example, there was a case scenario in Kericho County in 2013. There was an MCA who was elected thinking that, quote unquote, is the only wise person in that assembly. So by that time, the governor was Professor Chepkwony. Mm-hmm. Now, remember, the governors are running the counties like the president. They are the CEO of the counties. If, for example, this guy has misappropriated fund, these MCAs who never went to school, then they are in committees. Now they have summoned the professor as the governor, now come and explain to us how you use these funds. Do you think a Form 4 has the guts to ask a professor a question about the financial statements? Because this guy does not even understand.
My question is, are they even understanding
the financial statements? They don't. This is the person who cannot even state what is a debit, what is a credit. So we need to restructure our politics. We need to restructure our system of governance. Because in Kenya, we believe,
yes,
if today, for example, Oindo is a professional, if Oindo tells you that the war between Iran and Israel is going to affect our economy in terms of even supply of the petrol, Oindo will tell you on the perspective of a professional, because he understands, he has analyzed the factors that affect the economy when there is war. Then a politician comes and tells you, no, that's a lie. Our country is perfectly governed, nothing will affect us. The common man will tend to believe a politician than a professional. You get it? Today, if you call a meeting of professionals, you will see that politician appear like he's a professional. When you call a meeting of politician, he will be there. When you call a meeting of religious leaders, he will be there. So we need to stop and let things be done correctly. If it belongs to technocrats, let it be done by technocrats. If it is for the politician, let it be run by them.
I think it's we are in a very unfortunate state. We want to get to questions, and maybe points from our youths who joined us. So get those questions ready. You are coming up next. I am perplexed by how we have structured our entire governance. Not the positions, not the structure within the constitution, but the people we have put into those positions. For example, what you're just talking about, that some positions you really need professionals to be there, but you end up electing politicians to do those things. We have seen this happen in ministries, where you would want a professional doctor who has gone through training, through the entire process of becoming like a certified doctor, internship, and gone through all that, and knows the problems that those doctors are facing within those hospital corridors to run that ministry. You want an economist to run that, maybe finance ministry. You want, this position should be left for people who know what they're doing. If you look at how we appoint our CSs, you are left with questions. We are looking at parliament, our representatives. Yes, at times we want people who would relate with us well, people who know us, people who we have grown up with. But I'm also here wondering, if they get to these positions and they are in these committees, are they understanding really what, at times we might be blaming them that they're not doing their job, but maybe they even don't know the job that they're supposed to be doing.
True.
Right? And we have seen this with the finance, where I'm like, a governor appears in the Senate. This was a very interesting story. Happened recently. And you hear the kind of things they say. And I'm like, there was a parliament that ilipitisha hii kitu. Yeah, the county assemblies. I doubt if the governor just woke up and did something. There was a group of people when walipitisha hii kitu. When it's coming to be analyzed by the Senate, I'm like, it's already too late. Something happened wrong way back. And you listen to some of the things the governors say, the way they come to these meetings, then they go and say that they're being harassed. That was the word they used. Because someone is just asking you for a receipt. Someone is just asking you, since when did maize have seedlings? Right? Yet there was an assembly that passed it. So when we are looking at MPs, when we are looking at the MCS, there is where we are getting it all wrong, even before we move to other positions.